Speak up, right? You probably heard that, well, from teachers and maybe parents and maybe other folks, and maybe not, this isn't the first year. And you're probably watching this because you identified that as something that you should work on during these discussions. Well, if it was just as easy as just talking more, you probably would have done it already, right? So you, you know it's not as easy as just being told to talk more. You're wondering, well, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that you're wondering about. So let me give you some really specific things because believe it or not, this is actually something that I've had to work on. Um, I know you think of me as someone who talks all the time, but speaking up, especially in like kind of groups, you don't know really maybe like when's the right time to say something or like what to say or what should be the first thing that you say. You know, these are probably things you've thought about too. So let me get right to it. Um, First thing, so for that first thing that you're going to say, right? So it's probably okay to let the really eager students speak first when the discussion starts. Fine, let those folks go. But I would really recommend you try to get something in there just in the first few minutes or so. Try to be like the fifth or seventh person to go. If you let it, if you keep waiting for that perfect moment, it's not going to come. It's just not. You're going to have to make that moment happen. And once you've done that first time, it's just a whole lot easier. Again, I say this from experience. So watch the clock. You know, again, if you can't be fifth or seventh, try to at least be in the fifth or the seventh minute. Okay, if you're going for at least once or twice in 10 minutes, don't wait all the way up until the 10-minute mark. Just say something. And kind of to that, if you feel like maybe someone already took your idea, that's something I hear from students sometimes is I ask, why didn't you say something? Well, that person said what I wanted to say. Well, you should have more than just one thing that you're going to say, okay, for one thing here. But even if they did, you know what? Even if they did, here's what you can say. And this is, again, something that I've used, is you just jump in and say, I agree with whoever it is. I agree with the person who said, and repeat some of what they said. And it's even best if you can explain sort of why you agree with what they said. They say, I agree with the person who said whatever, because I also think, or because I remember that as well. Or, you know, finish that sentence with something that fits. And then you've done your one thing, right? Um, Another one is thing that you should know is that this fits. Speaking up, you can fit this with some of the other skills that we have in there, so it really fits well with the follow or the link saying like I've noticed that something in the discussion. So watch those videos, one or two of those, to get other specific tips about that kind of thing. But the other one, again, a way to maybe just get yourself started in a conversation is not even words, maybe, but some of what I've been doing while talking here. Just some of those hand gestures. Some people like this one, and in the direction of the person. Some people think that's kind of lame. You can just sort of point towards what someone says and nod. There are also some sort of wordless grunts. You can do like mm-hmm, not super loud or super weird. But you probably won't be the only one making those noises. And again, it's just something, again, get yourself into the conversation. So those are some specific ways to speak up. Like I said, some of the other videos will give you even more about what to say, but the first things that I mentioned will just at least get you started. And that's really a lot of what you need, is just getting started, not trying to say the perfect thing at the perfect time, because that doesn't exist. But just get that one out there, and then you'll feel like you're part of the group. And it's going to get a lot easier to keep speaking up.